In My Hero Ultra Rumble, every character falls into one of 5 distinct roles, each designed around a different playstyle and purpose on the team. Each of these roles has multiple characters, and every single one of them has at least a few strong picks. However, when you zoom out and look at the overall depth and consistency of each role, it becomes clear that some stand above the rest. My name's Yestermorn, and in this video we'll be taking a look at each role's overall character pool and ranking them from worst to best based on strength, versatility, and how well they perform in today's meta. If you enjoy this kind of content, consider liking and subscribing for more Ultra Rumble videos. With that said, let's get into it. The worst role in the game right now is clearly Assault. As a whole, this role just struggles to keep up with the pace of the current meta. Assault characters are built around close quarters, pressure, and survivability. They tend to be tankier than most roles and rely on short-range damage combined with defensive tools like shield or damage reduction to outlast their opponents. On paper, that sounds solid. In practice, it doesn't translate very well. The biggest issue is mobility. Most Assault characters simply don't have the movement options needed to compete in a fast, aerial, movement-heavy meta. When so many characters can reposition instantly or stay airborne for extended periods of time, being locked into close ranges becomes a major disadvantage. If you can't reliably chase or disengage, you're forced to fight on other people's terms. Even the newer Assault releases like Tokoyami and Blighted Precipice Overhaul, while decent, don't feel nearly as impactful as other recent characters from different roles. They're playable, but they don't shift the meta. In fact, I'd argue there's only one Assault character who consistently feels top tier right now, and that's Zero Satellite's Ochako. Outside of her, the role has a handful of picks that can either feel outdated or heavily matchup dependent. Characters like Kirishima, Mount Lady, and even All Might just don't hold up as well as they used to. It's especially unfortunate because the team-wide defense up bonus that Assault provides is actually very solid. But until more Assault characters get meaningful mobility or modernized kits, the role as a whole is going to continue having the hardest time keeping up. Next at number 4 is the Support role. This one was especially tough to rank because it's by far the smallest role in the game, with only 7 characters total. With such a limited pool, there's less variation in power level compared to the other roles. Support is probably the most consistent role in Ultra Rumble. There aren't any truly bad characters here, but there also aren't any that completely dominate the meta. For the most part, everyone sits in that middle range. Support characters are designed to enable their team. Whether it's healing, supplying items, or securing revives, their value often comes from helping others succeed. Most of them have abilities that can be used safely from a distance, allowing them to contribute without fully committing to chaotic fights. They can hit hard when given space, but if they're caught in the middle of a brawl without backup, they tend to struggle. Overhaul and Momo probably stand out as the weakest in the group right now, but even they aren't terrible picks. They fall somewhere in the B or C tier range depending on the situation. Playable, just not exceptional. The role has definitely improved recently though. Ibra's buff made her much more capable in direct fights, and the release of Fairy Nezure gave support a genuinely strong option. The main issue is that support doesn't have a true powerhouse. There's no S tier character carrying the role the way other roles have. Because of that, even though the role is stable and well-rounded, it ends up lower on the list overall. The next 3 roles are extremely close in overall strength, but coming in at number 3, Eye of the Strike role. Strikes are built around high burst damage and fast eliminations. Their goal is simple: put out as much pressure as possible and secure KOs before the enemy can react. Most of them also have solid mobility, which allows them to reposition quickly and stay aggressive without being punished too hard. Right now, there are really only 2 strike characters that feel underwhelming, Shigaraki and Crazy Torch Dabi. Outside of them, the role is very healthy. Most strike characters are at least decent and several are genuinely great. Red Drive Kirishima and Lady Nagant stand out in particular. Both are incredibly strong and can perform well in almost any situation. They bring big damage and consistency to any team. On top of that, the attack up bonus the team receives when running a strike is extremely valuable. Extra damage is always impactful, and that buff alone keeps strikes relevant in almost every composition. Overall, strike is a very strong role with a reliable character pool. The only reason it lands at number 3 is because the top 2 roles offer just a little bit more. Next at number 2 is the Rapid role. This was honestly a close call between Rapid and Strike, but I ultimately gave the edge to Rapid. Mobility has become the most important trait in Ultra Rumble, and no role embodies that more than this one. Rapid characters specialize in constant movement. Their kits are designed to get in, deal damage, and get out before the enemy can properly respond. While they usually don't have the same raw burst damage as strikes, they make up for it with safety and pressure. They can distract and chip away at enemies without fully committing. Like the strikes, the rapid role only has a couple of weaker picks. Twice is arguably the weakest character in the game right now, and Hawks, while underrated, doesn't quite measure up to the rest of the roster. Outside of those two though, the role is stacked. Ochako, Tsuyu, Gatling All Might, and One for All Deku are all excellent choices. The rapid role has been one of the strongest for a long time, largely because the meta continues to lean more and more into mobility and vertical play. Even so, there's still one role that edges it out at number 1. Lastly, the best role in the game right now is the technical role. Technical characters are defined by versatility. Their kits are layered, unique, and often require creativity to get full value. They aren't just built around one strength, but usually have multiple tools that allow them to adapt to different situations. As a whole, the role is incredibly deep. There's really only one clear weak pick in the group, and that's Davi, and even he isn't nearly as bad as he once was after the recent alpha change. Beyond that, you have a few mid-tier options like Nejire, Icefang, Windflame Shoto, and Lightning Denki. They're solid but not meta-defining. The rest of the roster though is very good. Armored All Might and Thousand Handbrake Shigaraki, the two most recent additions, have dominated matches for months. And even if you set them aside, you still have characters like Aizawa and Sheer Counter Mirio who are incredibly strong. The technical role went from being one of the weaker roles in the game to one of the strongest in just a few seasons. Right now, no other role has the same amazing roster that technical does, which is why it lands at number 1 on today's list. That's going to wrap up today's video. What's your favorite role to play in Ultra Rumble, and do you think I got the rankings right or did I miss the mark somewhere? Let me know in the comments, I'm curious to see where you'd place them. If you enjoyed the video, consider liking it or subscribing for more Ultra Rumble content. Thanks for watching, this has been Yestermorn, and I'll see you in the next one.